those 4 churches at least, that every Sunday I would expect their list of grievances. Their head was hurting, their foot was hurting, their arm was hurting. The cat left, the dog barked all night, just, something all the time. There's only one that really, in all that time, her husband was an alcoholic. And she'd come in, and at least she'd be honest with me. She said, Brother Long, we've been up all night. She said, my daughter and I was in the cornfield hiding from him. And she said, I barely know my name. And there was times she'd come in, you could tell, she didn't know where she was at half the time. And, but after years of putting up with that, the chainsaw got him. He was drunk full of a chainsaw. It got him. But had another lady, her husband was always beating her. And I told her, I said, now, ma'am, I'm not for divorce, but you got no business. God don't want you doing that kind of work. No. She went home one Wednesday night from prayer meeting, and he shot the windows out of her car. Now, when I was a boy, when men found out that one man was beating his wife and mistreating her, he was visited at night. And he didn't beat her anymore after that. That's just the way the people were. I mean, even the drunks would not tolerate you cussing around women or beating your wife. That's just the way they were raised. So we're to minister to one another. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10 says, as every man hath received the gift, even to so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. We're to minister to one another. And again, I want to say it. Sometimes it takes God's grace and love for you to try to help some people. And then there are some people you can help them, they're right back again. You're helping, and then finally you just got to say, no. I had a family like that when I pastored. Always had some of them like that. The 4 churches I pastored, there's always one group that would do that. And I always had one that I had to watch how I treated them because mentally they just wasn't with it. They were born that way. And so you have to be careful with those like that. But then there's others that you wish you'd go somewhere else. I mean, let's just face the fact. That's just the way it is. But we're to minister one to another, and the word minister means to minister. The meaning of the ministering one to another comes from a Greek word that means to help, to assist, to do it for others, to wait upon, or to carry out the instructions of another. And that's what we're to do. We're to help one another, minister to one another. It carries with it that household name, servant. It's difficult to find servants anymore. Everybody wants somebody else to do it. When I was on deputation, I was visiting churches, and the poor old pastor was doing it all. They cleaned the church, did everything. And there's 2 or 3 deacons, and I'm thinking, what in the world? But they had to do it all. But they was a servant. And they'll get credit for that over in glory. And so it means to be a servant. It also carries with it the thought of one who engages in ministry, which would be a what? What office in the church is supposed to engage in taking care of others? Anybody know?
Pastor and the deacons.
Yes. Isn't she bright? She's my daughter, you know. It's deacons. And the word deacon, you know, a lot of the Greek words that is used has a picture to it. And it's like someone running through the street, kicking up dust, going to serve somebody. That's the picture of it. And so we're to minister one to another. Now, again, we're living a day and time when it takes the grace of God. There's some people, I just don't know. You know, y'all remember, and I've said this before, but the little Abner cartoons, anybody remember them? You remember there was a little fellow that he had a black hat on, and there was a dark cloud over him all the time, and when he walked down the street, trees fell over, and he was just... I've met a few folks like that when I see them coming. No, here we go. It's sad, but that's what it carries with it the thought of a servant. And of course it refers to deacons. And it is not talking about what is done, but who does it. When it talks about this servant or deacon, it's not what they do, it's that that's what they're supposed to do. Amen. My home church, they seem to do pretty good from what I see. But I've been in churches where one came to my mind already, but the pastor and his son does it all. They clean the church, they mow the yard. He was even up on top of the church one time painting the steeple. He slipped and fell and grabbed it with his arm, tore that muscle loose, and it rolled up into his arm. And I told him one time, he may not have liked it, but I said, you don't have a church, that church has you. And so, to be a servant, I mean, and it's not what is done, but who is doing it. Okay? And then the word means also refers to the person the servant works to, the one they care for. And so it refers to the job, the ministry, and the the activity done by this deacon, this servant. A lot of churches, deacons are not doing what they're supposed to do. They think they're there to keep the pastor straight. That's not true. The early deacons was given, set up to take care of the widows, those who were widows indeed. That means that they had no other means. Now, we have a day and time when a lot of folks, family people, they don't take care of the widows. And that's what they're supposed to do. And so you have to minister to them, and we're to minister one to another. We should be a blessing to one another. We should be a help to one another. We should encourage one another. When was the last time anyone ever encouraged you? Can you remember? You do a fine job. DJ, you just do an outstanding job. We don't do that much, do we? Let's just face the facts. We don't do much. We should thank the janitor of our church. We should, from time to time, just thank him. We should thank you for the work you do. We used to say, well, we're praying him. That's not the point. The point is, be thankful for service. Amen? And encourage them. And minister one to another. That's what the Lord wants us to do, is to minister one to another. Let me read that verse again. As every man hath received the gift. A gift. What gift? The gift of just ministering to one another. That gift of just caring about one another. Even so minister the same, one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. So why are you to do that? Because of the grace of God. Amen. God ministers to you, don't he? Takes care of you. Any of you been begging for bread? No takers, huh? Amen. I remember, I've mentioned this before, and it's come to mind again, so I'll just mention it again. I remember whenever I quit my job, I worked 17 years for this printing company and was a supervisor, and I quit my job and went full time. Took a little country church back in the mountains of Virginia that they was going to give me what was left at the end of the month. Well, they told me, said, you'll starve to death. You know how them Baptist folk are. I told them, I said, I'm not trusting the Baptist, I'm trusting the Lord. Amen. Now, I might be skinny, but I haven't starved. In fact, I never will forget it. Whenever I surrendered to go into the mountains of Virginia, I didn't, and I had a pretty good job, but I didn't shop at Bill's. It was just a little bit too expensive for me. I was basically a Walmart man. And this woman come up to me and she said, you're going there? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, I got loved ones up there on that mountain. And she told me where this at. And I said, well, I'll try to visit them. And she gave me like $100. And I was able to go and get a new pair of shoes, shirt. That's when the prices wasn't too high. I think I got a pair of dress pants. But anyway, I had enough, because I already had a little bit of money before when I went in there. And so, I don't know about how the rest of you feel, but I've never had to beg for bread. Some of us just had to kind of beg, please don't give me any more food. I'm full, I'm getting fat, blah, 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 blah. You know, God has blessed us, hasn't he? Now, we think of it as food and clothing. But somebody tell me another way the Lord has blessed you.
Salvation.
Salvation. Huh?
Peace.
Peace. He's also done some healing, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He has on me, I know that. I've had heart surgery, I've had cancer treatment, and here stand I. I've been clean for 14 years. And by that I mean, you know, I've been taking a shower, but I mean, had clean health, you know. And live longer, as I've mentioned before, live longer than any man. And so, we're to be served, we're to serve one another. And a deacon, like I said, the Greek carries with the picture of someone running through the street kicking up dust to serve somebody. It's exactly what it means. So let us serve one another. Let's care about one another. When you see someone that looks like they're having a bad day, say a good word to them. Amen? Amen. Go up to Brother Slater and say, I really appreciate what you do. Go up to Miss Katrina and she said, I know you put up with a lot with your dad, but I appreciate what you do. Huh? You'd be surprised how it'll make your day. It really will make your day. Let us purpose in our heart to look out and to serve one another. I catch myself, and I know none of y'all do this, that I'm running to and fro so much that I don't stop and look and see, is there someone that needs to be encouraged. We live in a busy time, don't we? And you would think that with modern technology, telephones, everything, that we can communicate and talk to one another. I rarely get a phone call from anybody unless it's, what do you call them? Telemarketer. Yeah. But, that's just the day we're living. Isn't it amazing? We lived in the days of horse and buggies. We had time to talk to one another. Now we got phones and everything else. And we don't have time to call and talk to one another. Nothing. And I don't mean this bad against my in-laws and that type of thing, but I was thinking yesterday they never call me. I always call them. And that's all right. I'm not fussing about it. But I also know that some of them are just busy. They're going all the time. And to me, I don't think that's good. And that's just me. You got to take time to take some breath and take some time to just sit down, relax, pick the phone up, call somebody and say, how you doing? That's what we should do. One more time. As every man has received the gift, that gift of salvation, the Spirit of the Lord, that you're a child of God, you're going to heaven. Even so minister to the same one to another. Minister the same one to another. God has saved you and blessed you. Amen? And tell someone else about it. As good stewards of the manifold grace. What's the word manifold mean? Anybody know? I always thought this meant many different ways, many different. So there's many different ways. A thank you card, phone call, bag of candy, $100 bill. All of those things. So let us minister one to another of the same grace and the same love that God has ministered to us. Amen? That's what He wants us to do. And like I said, I feel on this a lot of time because I'm just, and my body's not doing it, my mind is. Gotta hurry up and do this, gotta hurry up and do that, gotta go here, gotta get this, I better check this out, I better check that out. Gotta take the dog out, get the cat, whatever. Let us minister one to another. And therefore showing the love of Christ to others. That's the bottom line. When we minister one to another, we end up showing forth the love of Christ. Amen? Amen. What is